Hello and welcome to this second video about Titian's Diana and Actaeon. This is a painting that is going to be included along with 5 other fantastic paintings in an exhibition in the National Gallery from March 2020 called Love, Desire, Death. We can all agree that this painting has one of those elements. Possibly it has 2 or maybe even the full complement. I think that's actually really for you to decide. So last time we looked at how the figure of Diana, the goddess Diana, was the least elegant, the least attractive female nude in the painting. This time we're going to look at why Titian may have depicted her as such. So the key to answering that question is really in the moment that Titian has chosen to depict. So in this particular moment, Actaeon has all the power. He has just pulled aside this curtain. It's his agency that has propelled the moment into being. He is standing, he is clothed, Diana is surprised, and she is undone. I don't think, therefore, that it is a coincidence that if you look at Diana's right arm in the way that she's got it behind her body to steady herself, that it could be very easily mistaken for the arm of her maidservant, who, by the way, isn't she absolutely exquisite? But then also her right leg. So her right leg is up rather awkwardly on the nymph's lap, but the nymph's right leg, the one that's drying her, could very, very easily be taken for Diana's. So she's in pieces. Her head even, so she's recoiling away from Actaeon, but her head still just seems to be really too small for her body. Not only that, it's painted in a sort of in a different way, in a different register to the rest of her body. So I think that's 2 things. I think once again, it's as though there's this disconnect, but I also feel that it's as though she is slowly gathering herself, slowly coming into focus, if you like. If you equate it to if you download an image on your phone and it's sort of fuzzy and then bits of it start to become clear, I think it's almost like that. So she's sort of gathering her power, and then once she has gathered her power, which is not going to take her very long, bam! The balance of power then shifts very much away from Actaeon and to the goddess Diana. So it's this incredible moment of this power shift, or it's about to shift. If you weren't entirely sure that this was going to happen, or that Diana was going to exact her revenge, then you would only just need to glance down at the face of this nymph who's trying to cover herself up with the cloak, and the look on her face is one of absolute terror. So she is a very good indication of the emotional temperature of this painting. But without that nymph and without Diana, which of course is not possible, could be a completely different story. I just want to draw your attention to this gaze between the nymph behind the column there, who's peeking round, looking at Actaeon. And in fact, Actaeon seems to be returning her gaze. Now, if that is not an instant of love at first sight, or maybe just lust at first sight, I really don't know what is. But then the nymph below the column, it's rather lovely too. She's looking across at Actaeon, and that is just definitely, she is checking him out, which is a fantastic reversal, isn't it, in this painting that was created for Philip II of Spain, and we all know how much nudes, the female nude, played an important role in the POESIE paintings. So power is clearly a theme that runs through this entire work, But there's also a symbol of power here that is really easy to miss. And that is within this red cloth that Actaeon is so nonchalantly pushing aside. There is a classical notion that the hymen, with all of its connotations to virginity, could be represented metaphorically by a red veil. Red veil, red cloth. Oh, I think Actaeon has just pierced Diana's hymen. That is not going to end well. Well, it doesn't end well, does it? But more than that, if you look at this piece of material, it's actually really beautifully scalloped around the edges. So it's not just any old bit of red material. It is, in fact, Diana's regal cloak. So in so nonchalantly pushing it aside, Actaeon has not only penetrated Diana's sacred grove with all the inference that that entails, but he's also just casually dismissed the symbol of her very identity and agency as a goddess. So this is another reason, I think, why she is so pictorially dismembered. You know, she has completely lost her identity here. It's a lot to unpick, isn't there? Oh. Anyway, next time we'll be looking at maybe some easier things. We'll be looking at the little touches that Titian has added that foretell Actaeon's sorry fate. But it's not all doom and gloom, because there's humour in this work as well, so we'll be looking at that. And also how, just over 50 years after it was sent to Philip II of Spain, how it was almost shipped back to England and got so close that it was only unpacked again at the 11th hour. I hope you'll join me. Bye.